Can y'all hear me now? Is that better? I've been here. Y'all just couldn't hear me. Okay, so what I was saying was that all mods, if at all possible, in the next 2 weeks, need to join the mod Facebook group so you can get the list of shortcuts for links, the YouTube community standards guidelines, and just kind of an idea of certain stuff. If you can't, for whatever reason, join the Facebook group, email me and we'll figure it out. Okay, business out the way. On with everything else. So, I don't know how many of y'all saw this. I'm thanking one of the Sunshines for clipping it to make it easier for me to be able to play it. And if I catch a copyright, I'll take that. But I'm going to bring this out. Listen, I said that I wasn't going to cover the Dre McRae case because I thought that Molly and Justin were doing a good job, and they seemed a little frustrated with other people joining in. What's up, Cassie? And I was telling people to go over there and catch them, that they were doing a good job, and Molly seemed to be upset with other people. She made several comments repeatedly, that her and Justin had done all the research work and other people were coming in to capitalize. Now, I watched 5 years worth of I don't even want to talk about it, formats video. It was creepy and creepy. But anyway, so I was telling people to go over there. And because I know how it feels to do a lot of hard work and then feel like you did all the work and you put all, the breaking in, and then everybody come in at the ninth inning and, take it or whatever. What's up, little Dev? You good? We just getting the party started. Anyway, I was there, because they had a good relationship with the family and there's a lot of respect, and I was going on that. Yeah, I love Justin, Katie. He's keeps the cart between the rails type thing. You know what I mean? He keeps it from going left of center real fast. And ain't no shade with him, but and Cassie, and I'm gonna say this: everyone is welcome in Nita's World Chat and as a Sunshine, as long as you're just respectful to each other. I don't care who you like, who you don't like. It doesn't matter. And it's okay if I like somebody and y'all don't, and if y'all like somebody and I don't. I don't care about that. I'm not one of those creators that's going to flip about that. Now, if you're sitting here telling me, Nita, we love you, I love you, you're da-da-da-da, and then you go over to Amelia Earhart's channel, and you're telling her you love her and fuck Nita and Nita's World, and then come back over here an hour later, 9 out of 10 times, I'm probably going to see it, or somebody's going to screenshot it and send it to me. And, I'm not going to call you out. Used to, I would have. Now, nah, I'm probably just going to ignore you. I'm not going, Okay, see, you straight. I know. It ain't you. I've seen that occur in the past 9 days with 2 different people that probably think I don't know. And they're not here. So I haven't seen them. But me being me, I can't hold it in. I usually end up, letting my mouth fly open and say what's on my mind. But I want to share something with you guys. It's bothered me since I saw it. It's bothered me. Honestly, it's the only thing I got to say about it. Then about that subject, and then we're going to dive into summer. There's some cases going on in Hawkins and Sullivan counties. There's some articles that's come out, and we're going to talk about grandma too. Real talk. Miss Katie, I don't know exactly what you've done with, so that people need to move on from. What I'm talking about is less than 6 hours ago that I've known about it, so I don't know. Not sure what you're done with and people need to move on from. I'm confused, but whatever. Anyway, I just wanted to play this. It bothered me. I want y'all's thoughts and opinions because they matter to me.
Aw, I know. I'm getting so many invitations to stay with people in Yuma. I was like, aw, like, you guys are so sweet. Well, you'll see me out there with that fucking bullhorn. Listen, Bullhorn Betty doesn't want to be a part of this. Jonathan, I fucking begged them. Please don't disappoint me. I'm begging you, please. No, it's all about fucking Summer Wells. Summer fucking Wells. Summer Wells. A year later. Summer Wells. She's gone, people. We're never going to figure out what really happened. Move the fuck on. We have a fucking chance to help. Let's, no. Let's stick it to Summer Wells because that shit pays. Get the fuck out of here. Summer Wells. She's just one person, one child. There's millions. Summer Wells pays out, man. Oh, yeah. I don't want to do the Marvin. I heard it doesn't pay. Fuck you. We don't need you. When Justin's not here, that one girl that I can't pronounce her name. What's her name? Not Aya. It's, oh my God. Why can't, Tia. Tia's going to fill in for the African-American girl with the makeup. Tia. That's who I'll have up here.
Sorry, I was talking and I'm muted. That bothered me. And I'm not talking shit. I'm not in with the drama. I'm not going to get involved with the drama. I've said that. I'm not. That's part of the reason that I was saying I wasn't going to get involved with the McRae case and stuff, y'all. But that bothered me. And I wanted, am I being wrong or petty for being bothered by that? I mean, that bothered me. That bothers me. It's not, first of all, Summer is not just one. There's 3 boys, and we don't know how many other babies. That bothered me. No child is just a name and a number, No baby is. That bothered me. Hey, Miss Lisa. And we Scottish Ma, I just saw you join. Hey. That's pretty much all to me, that speaks for itself. There's not a lot that I can say or have to say in any way, shape, or form. It just bothered me. I hope that we as creators are able to, cover more than one topic at a time, and Katie, I do get that to a point, but wait, that was, even just hearing it just now again, it was like a punch in the chest, personally, to me. I don't know, I'm not condemning, I'm not trying to talk junk, I'm just saying I was bothered. Thank you, Miss Lisa, for becoming a member. I guess I take some things to heart too much, I don't personally believe that we'll never find out. I don't believe that. I have reasons, and we're going to discuss part of those reasons tonight. That I personally and professionally, I guess, would be that I believe that we're going to see some movement in Summer's case. I really, the wording was bad. But how do I say this? I think, number one, I'm going to say this, guys. I don't think a lot of people may even recognize this. We've already been seeing movement in Summer's case, whether you realize it or not. For months, in one sense, but for about a week and a half now, and it's going to get more. I believe that allegedly. In my heart, I believe that. I can't not. Thank you, Lisa, too, from me, too, Streamlabs. Let's see. I have an order I wanted to discuss some things. I know, and I'm going to have it playing in the background, but muted. I got you, Katie. I'm there. I swear, y'all, I have an order of operations. That's what takes me a long time to get the live stream together. I go through and I probably watch 100 videos. I probably research 20 to 50 articles in print, and I don't know how many podcasts I end up listening to that aren't available on YouTube and stuff on other channels, as well as then I present it. I make an outline of how, the order of operation, and I try not to get distracted because then I'll forget what I was doing. Because God knows I'm the old lady sometimes. I know, Margaret. I feel you. Same, Margaret. Same. And it did. That hurt. I feel you. The wheels of justice in the U.S. seem to move extremely slow. Trying to see. Where is it at? So, the next thing I was planning on talking about, what I was saying is I was going to play it, and I'm going to have it on mute. The first, real quick, remember I was talking in the last live stream, and I said that Grandma had the zipper scar on her knee, and that the other lady was saying that she had a prosthetic leg during the interview. Well, thanks to one of the sunshines, I was able to pinpoint the exact moment during the interview, so we're going to play about less than 4 seconds and let Grandma tell us about her knee right quick. Then we're going to talk about the camper.
Because my leg was messing up on me, and we were afraid something was wrong. My knee, I have a knee replacement.
Right there. I made sure that the closed captioning was on too. So you're going to see that I thought something was wrong with my knee. I have a knee replacement. So the interview that was on another channel where the lady was saying that she saw Grandis's artificial leg and that's how she knew she had one, can't be correct. You can't be a little bit pregnant. You either are or you're not. You can't have an amputated leg. It either, and a knee, you can't, it either is or it ain't. That was that. Okay. Then the next thing, and I'm going to play this on mute. In the background while I'm discussing it. So we are now technically got different time zones. We don't mention other creators in a bad way in the chat either. No, allegedly, it was an actual interview that someone was saying that they were a friend of Candace. They were Facebook friends before Summer went missing, but they really didn't talk. After Summer went missing, they started talking. She was up at the house. She saw Grandma doing stuff with her leg and whatever, and said it was a prosthetic leg. And it, I don't know, David School, I don't know who said what. Oh, God. Anyway, it said it was a prosthetic leg. And when people started questioning her, the creator got mad and ended the live stream because she said that we were missing valuable information. What's up, Blue Eyes 3030? Y'all ain't gotta be sorry. I'm trying to be happy, but this is gonna be a tough live stream. I can be real, and it's gonna be tough. Yes, it was. Yep, she sure did, Pam. She said that Grandma don't wear shorts, and I pulled up the pictures in the last live stream and showed. Oh, okay, got you, allegedly. Well, I'm sure there is, but this lady was being very specific to Summer's case and Candace and Grandma. And my whole point about it is, and we talked about it before, there's a term in law that says if you catch the person in one lie, then everything that they say has to be considered as false. So, could we glean a lot of information? Because this lady is also saying she never met Summer, but then she's also telling us Summer did this and Summer did that, and Summer could never say. If you never met Summer and you were never at her house before she went missing, how do you know all this stuff about her? And you're stating it as fact. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to let this video play. I'm going to mute it because there was a couple things. The reason I wanted to show this is he was asking, and I wanted to get to the part where he says it. And Grandma has moved her trailer. That is fact. Right, Katie? It sure does, don't it? And that is a fact. At the time this was put out yesterday, it had been about approximately 52 hours. So it was on Thursday morning, from what I've been told, between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Now, I think JLR might have had one little thing confused, and that's why I wanted to play this. And, let's see. Okay, I want to get to the part where he's talking about what I need to clarify. But what I want to know is, how in the hell is she able to move? How is one of the three people who were last to see this missing little girl able to pick up and leave and just go? I mean, they know where Don's at. He's in jail, but he wasn't one of the last three. The last three is Grandma, Mom, and the juvenile boy, and the brothers, of course. But I'm talking about other than the minor children. She's one of the last two adults that saw Summer alive. Why in the hell is she allowed to just roll out and leave? Why was she allowed to pack up her shit? We saw video and pictures while the police have just arrived to search for Summer, and she's already packing up shit. And bolted out in 3.5 weeks after Summer went missing, I think it was. Like 3 weeks and 5 days, something like that. After her granddaughter went missing. And I get it. Listen, I even took up for her to a point and said, hey, as a mom that lost a child in a similar type, circumstances and mysterious situation, maybe it was more than she could handle. Maybe. But I did want to clarify. Okay. Okay. He's getting ready to say what I wanted to be able to clarify. My information, and it may be wrong, but my information, Grandma oftentimes spent half of the year in Tennessee, hey Blue, and half of the year in Wisconsin. My understanding is, from my information, the source that told me between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m., the camper was got camper. It is a camper. It's not a trailer, and there's a big difference, and we're going to clarify that and answer a couple of JLR's questions he's about to ask. The understanding I have is that she was going to the sisters where she stays when she's in Wisconsin for half the year. And now that's the same source that told me that it was gone. It's the same one that told me that. Okay. Okay. I'm going to unmute and let it play. There's a couple sentences, and you guys may also have the same question he was asking. So I'm going to be able, it's cool, Blue, I'm going to be able to answer that question when he asks it. So I'm going to let that play.
Grandma's trailer is gone. It's no longer there. You heard it here first. I get the information. It's coming at me at all angles. I will find out more details about her trailer being removed. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, covering the Summer Wells case at all angles. Again, Grandma's trailer has been removed from the property. Where is Summer Wells? If you have any information about the whereabouts of Summer Wells, contact Tennessee Borough Investigation, 1-800-TBI-FIND. We are Summer's Army. We are looking for Summer. Pray. Everyone be safe. God bless.
If you suffer from joint
Okay, in the second video that JLR did about Grandis leaving, he was asking, how did she pay to have the trailer moved? And how expensive is it? And, yeah, Pam, you didn't do anything. I don't know why, but it was, anyway, he was asking how expensive it was to have moved and was it worth it to move it and stuff like that. So I had some answers. Grandis's trailer, as JLR was referring to it, is actually not a trailer. It is a camper. It's actually, I think, considered to be on the small to medium end of campers. Basically, her truck, the Suburban, the white truck, probably even the Subaru could move the camper. It's got a tongue. You take the ball that's on the back of your car, you back up, you hook that job up, and you pull it. We see the ones that are way bigger than hers with the pop-out sides and everything else. Some of them you drive, and some of them you pull, Blue Eye, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm just talking about the camper. There's a misconception that Grandma Candace's was a trailer, not a camper. And I'm just clarifying the difference. A camper is supposed to be moving. You know what I mean? I think, how do I say this? My personal opinion, let me say this. My personal opinion is, if y'all remember, Dawn was asking Tim for some reason to get the marriage license to him in jail. Then, shortly after that happened, less than 2 weeks later, is when Candace, Grandma was already gone to Wisconsin and left the camper. Candace stopped staying at 110 Ben Hill Road and really ain't been back. Now, maybe it is because she was being bothered, but if we look at Tennessee law and the law that governs that property, because Dawn got the property prior to them being married, and he's not deceased, he's just in jail. Candace, that's right, Lisa, she does. Candace would not automatically get the property. And we know that they were in an argument and fighting, and Dawn hung up on her. We know that she was saying and doing some things there for a minute with Benny and Ernie that Dawn probably is not going to play. I mean, let's think about it. A lot of us are survivors. How would your perpetrator take that? For you to get on YouTube that's international in front of an audience that he's been before multiple times and say, you don't want to be with him no more, you don't love him like that. And for you to be openly flirting with not one but at least 2 other men. And if she, there's been chances other people, person she's staying with now and others, are making sure she eats, takes care of herself, and is clean, as I understand. So, my way of looking, the way I seem to understand it is, they got in an argument. He asked for the marriage license which I'm thinking he might need to, one, prove they were married and be able to get a divorce, which is cheaper while you're incarcerated in most states. I don't know specifically about Tennessee, but also that marriage license might be necessary for dates compared to deed dates, so that he makes sure the property goes where he wants it. Because if he is looking, and he believes that he's looking, that's the key. Does Don believe that he's looking at going straight to Utah and not coming home for 25 or better years, because he said another felony and he's getting a minimum of 25 years. So I'm thinking he's getting his affairs in order just in case. And he thinks that Candace ain't going to be there and ain't going to be true and ain't going to be faithful. Again, this is my personal opinion. I only need his opinion on this. I'm looking from the outside, looking in and saying, it seems like maybe their marriage is splitting up and one's going left and one's going right. And he's getting his ducks in a row, because if he ain't going to be with her, he damn sure ain't giving her his mama's land. And the only thing that he has that's really worth any cash, whether it's a liquid asset or not. That's my personal thoughts on what I believe is going on. And that means that it would only be a natural line of progression for Grandma to go get her camper. Now, a lot of people have I heard some speculation about it would cost, because they thought it was a trailer, where you remove the axles and you do the underpinning and stuff and set it up. And it is not. It is a camper. Most people just go weekend, but a lot of people do RV life. There's, van life, and redesign UPS and FedEx trucks to live out of and stuff, She drove that just like she drove the school bus that y'all was talking about up there. She drove that damn camper up there. You think that avalanche can't hook that camper to it and roll it out? I mean, that's what people do. They go camping. But if she knows that Candace ain't coming back to 110 Ben Hill, and if she knows that the boys and Summer ain't coming the fuck back to 110 Ben Hill Road, she don't like Don. She ain't gonna try to stay up there and hang out with him. What's up, Keith? How you doing? I mean, call me cray-cray, but that's my personal opinion. Word is bond, allegedly. And I'm not, listen, I ain't putting nobody down, because I want an RV or a camper, but it's because I want to be able to be mobile. Just like if I'd had that, I would have, and traveling to Tennessee, I wouldn't have to worry about a hotel room. I'd have had my hotel room. I'd have had my shower. I'd have had my bathroom. So anytime I want to do anything like that, I got somewhere to sleep and wash and lay with me. That's where my thought process is. And people were talking about that it couldn't be worth that much and everything else. Well, I beg to differ. I would say it was worth at least a minimum of $5,000. I don't know, from what I saw, what it looked like on the inside. It's got the real light colored wood grain. It had a full-size refrigerator. It does look like it had a full dining area plus bed area, and we know from what Jose said that there is a full shower and bathroom, and that's not that old of a camper. So I would say it's somewhere between like 5 and 9, in that range, depending on how old it is. True story, allegedly. You got that right. That was funny. But I'm just thinking, I don't see Grandis leaving her camper there, because if you think that's too high, Katie, well, I don't know. I looked up teardrop campers that are smaller than that, and they're $12,000. New, but that's new. That's a 2022. Keith, ignore Streamlabs. But Yeah, that's a 2022. It would depend on how old hers is. Hers doesn't look that old, but I'm not a good judge on that either, so I don't know. But I'm just saying, regardless, it's not like when you move a mobile home, a trailer that's got underpin or underskirting, whatever you want to call it, and the axle's been removed and stuff, it's a minimum of $1,000. Right, Blue, they are more expensive. From what I could tell, for the kind of camper, the brand that she has and the size it is, somewhere between 5 and 9, if it's a 2016 or newer. You damn right, allegedly, that's what I was saying. Exactly. She ain't gonna stay there with Don, and she sure ain't gonna leave it sitting up there for him to sell. You all know that's true. I mean, that's my opinion. Nobody's told me that. That part is my opinion. But I was looking for her to move that camper any time now. Once Candace left and said she didn't feel safe and she didn't feel comfortable, and she pretty much said she wasn't coming back to 110 Ben Hill Road, I wasn't giving it no time till Candace had that moved. Now, it's also kind of odd that last week, yeah, she didn't like Dawn. Exactly, Blue Willow. Last week, if y'all remember, we saw the red canoe going out on top of, that was Candace's Suburban. That's what we were told, that it was Candace's. We saw the red canoe going out on the top of Candace's Suburban. And the PIs had been there. So maybe the same PIs moved Grandma's camper for her. I don't know. But removing her camper, all it costs is a vehicle that's able to pull that camper based on weight and size and gas. It's not like moving a trailer or a mobile home that it's like $1,000 to $3,000 up front to have the moving company come in and move them. It's way different. And I think that's a misnomer that I saw on several channels, because people were saying that they thought it was going to cost more to move it, especially if she was in Wisconsin, than it was worth. And nah, man, you just basically look and book like any other camper. It still had the tongue on it. They hadn't removed it. You could see it when they were showing the flower pots that were out there with the Paw Patrol in them. Okay, so now let's see which one of these would do. There's a couple articles and videos I wanted to talk about of things that's going on in Kingsport. I don't know. There's two. I'm going to show y'all two videos, and then we're going to go to two articles. And this has to do with crime, drugs, and law enforcement in Hawkins and Sullivan County area. Yeah, it would have been easy to pull it with her truck, Lil Dev. Like I said, any of the vehicles on the property, the Suburban could have pulled it. I even think the little white truck could have. They just have, I forget what is that called? The ball thing on the back of the truck. I always forget what that's called. But as long as you got one of them, you could pull it. Hell, my car could pull it. The size that hers is, because like I said, I think hers is in the small to medium range. Let's see. There's a couple videos I want us to look at. And like I said, they do involve ball hitch. Thank you, allegedly. They do involve Summer's case, in my personal opinion. They also involve law enforcement in Hawkins County and drugs in Hawkins County. This first one is a video from Thunder Sky. Y'all know I'll be loving him. But this is very interesting. I really want y'all's thoughts on this. Yeah, pretty much, Keith. I mean, you might have one of them little pregnant roller skates that can't, like a Festiva or something. A Chevy Sprint, a Ford Festiva, they probably ain't. They might not be able to. It's not a big camper, so it's one of, I want to say it's a 13-footer, but I'm not positive. Okay. Alright, let's go to this video. By the way, it's Thunder Sky Studios, and it's called When the Law Breaks the Law, Hawkins County, Tennessee. If you ain't seen it, buckle up. We're in for a bumpy ride, because this is the beginning. I got about 4 more things like this to show you. You'll find out this also mentions the mysterious Billy Creasy. The alleged drunk in the shed.
When the Law Breaks the Law, Hawkins County, Tennessee. In 2013, Charles Otis Lawson, former vice mayor of Seguinsville, a small town in Hawkins County, was charged with felony insurance fraud and filing a false report. He allegedly ran into a parked car deliberately, then filed an insurance claim, along with a passenger. An alleged accomplice, former Hawkins County jailer Jerry Willie Dishner, of Church Hill, was arrested and charged with filing a false report. On October 19, shortly before 9 p.m., Lawson was driving a white 2001 GMC SUV westbound on Main Street in Seguinsville near City Hall when he struck a parked car on Main Street. Lawson claimed that an oncoming eastbound car went into his lane and forced him to swerve into a parked car. The accident occurred while the monthly concert was underway at nearby Bellamy Hardware, which is a music venue owned and operated by the former mayor of Seguinsville, Johnny Greer. The vehicle struck by Lawson belonged to a concert patron. The Seguinsville Police Department conducted a follow-up investigation on Lawson's wreck. They had reportedly located witnesses who stated there was no eastbound vehicle at the time of Lawson's accident and that Lawson had hit the parked vehicle on purpose. The Seguinsville Police Department on Main Street has outside video surveillance and was able to determine from that footage that there was no eastbound vehicle on Main Street at the time of Lawson's accident. Lawson denied any wrongdoing in the accident and stated that he was framed and set up and that the investigation against him was politically motivated. Lawson was part of the Seguinsville Board of Mayor and Alderman administration that was ousted after Johnny Greer's election in 2006. Following Greer's election, information came to light which resulted in felony charges against Lawson, the previous vice mayor, and Haynes Cooper, the previous mayor.
Gear up with the Make This the Summer sales event.
So, I'm making sure that was the end of it. Any thoughts from any of you guys about that? Unfortunately, I would like to say that seems to be an isolated incident rather than the norm, but I can't say that. And I'm about to show y'all why. We're going to go on into it. And I got a question. How many times have we heard how broke Hawkins County is? What the fuck are they spending their money on? And I'm going to show y'all why I asked y'all that. I got a video and an article to back up what I'm asking. When you got judges begging for money. But we're going to show, thank you to Shay's Safe Place. If y'all didn't see this, about Operation Be Mine Drug Roundup, I want y'all to see this and look at it. See if y'all notice any faces that seem familiar in here. And by the way, if anybody can support the channel, it would be greatly appreciated. We are going to talk some specifics that I'm allowed to some specifics that during my time on the road these past few weeks that I have become privy to knowing, and I'm going to speak on what I'm allowed to say. When I get to the point where I'm talking about certain things, what I'm going to say is all that I'm allowed to say legally. So, but we're going to watch this. We're going to discuss the boys in general. We're not going to mention minor names. We're not going to talk specifics. I won't be talking specifics on that case at all. But we are going to talk general things. What are the CPS standards or DPS? Sorry, y'all. It's CPS where I live and DPS in Tennessee. What are the rules? What are the standards? What is the timeline? Which is really important. What is the norm and what is occurring in this case that's out of the norm that I can tell you? Let's watch this by Shay's Safe Place, and then we're going to discuss that. And I'm going to tell you what I found out. Anybody that can help support the channel, it would be greatly appreciated. I killed my pockets on this last trip, but it was worth it because it was for summer. Period.
Hello, you all. I had a pretty good birthday yesterday. We're going to look at some bustes back in 2014 in Hawkins County.
I mean, within one of the two houses. So we need to hit both houses. Same time. So I'm going to 155 to look for these two. Or three. Because the other. How many people we got going on? He's with me.
We presented several cases to the Hawkins County Grand Jury last week, up with approximately 37 indictments. They're sealed, and today we're executing them throughout Hawkins County.
Real quick, y'all remember the grand jury meets in April. Like this year it met April the 11th. It usually meets the very end of March or the first couple weeks of April. I want you to look at the foliage and the leaves and the trees right now and see what month you think it looks like that it is that they're serving these grand jury indictments. And also see if y'all see any faces in these arrestees that look familiar. I see y'all saying November to February, and I would think, based on what I'm seeing, I would definitely think that it's somewhere between November and December. I think definite February is a possibility too, but I'm not sure if they try to serve them by the end of the year or not. But it definitely, we see toboggans, we see gloves, we see no green leaves, brown everywhere. This was 2014, Katie. It's not about the year. What's important is the timeline. There's something I'm pointing out. Those grand jury indictments are sealed until they act on those indictments and serve them and do the arrest and the warrant. They remain sealed. Oh, Scuba, you're smarter than me. Duh, it is in February. Duh. But my point is, the grand jury met in April. They're serving them in February. So, the grand jury met this year in April. So, those indictments are still sealed. We don't know what cases they heard. We don't know what indictments they passed down. There's still a possibility that people could have received an indictment when it comes to Summers' case. After we finish watching this, I'm going to talk about how, and I think they said in the chat, it was said DCS, the Department of, I guess it's Department of Children's Services in Tennessee. I'm going to discuss how the open case right now could be affecting / impacting the investigation into Summers' disappearance. And how and why I think very soon we are going to see movement with rapid force. And I'm gonna give it a little bit. I'm gonna tell you it's my opinion, but my opinion is based in fact and looking at past cases, looking at Tennessee general statutes and what is required of the Department of Children's Services. There's certain guidelines they have to follow and a certain process they have to go through, and we're going to discuss that. I had to do some research to get this outlined, but I think it's very important. And there's one thing in particular that is very, very telling about the case. We're going to let this play out. I just want to see if anybody, especially any of our locals in the chat, if you don't want to say it in the chat, you can email me. I want to know if you recognize any of these faces. And yep, Katie, you on point. Coming up. Scuba, I'm glad you pointed that out, though. I feel so slow right now, but you're right.
Operation Be Mine, just because it's close to Valentine's Day, and my office's continual war on drugs. Had an extensive investigation going for probably a year or better.
They didn't know what was coming today, though, did they?
Still don't.
We went to Marie Lane off of Big Springs. We had 4 arrest warrants on subjects on this roundup. The residence I went to was a female
like a young
defendant.
version of Jody Sue.
Had several vicious dogs there. We had to secure them before we took her into custody, but everything went well without incident. We took her in on a arrest warrant. The group next door, 2 houses down, they found their subjects they were looking for without incident.
That almost looks like a younger version of Jody Sue.
A lot of these charges are Schedule 2, possession, free sale, and delivery. It took quite a bit of time to get this operation going, and narcotics unit's done a really excellent job. A lot of these people are the ones that's selling out here in the public. They're the ones that's causing a problem in the community, and everyone we can take off the street is that much that we get off the street now, the homes and schools.
So, can I go over and tell my father-in-law something? As soon as I go, we got a kid in our bed. We're going to leave him. I know, but I got to tell him he got my money. I'd like to put it down the car somewhere. I'm going to go. But they're going to get exactly what I want. Are you going to be super cool? Not give me any problems? I don't know why my problems. You're going to ride with me? All right. I'll put you in the front seat. Sit tight. I'll go pick you out there. Well, they're up to the cup. Go on, Mel. Go down. That's what
This took probably a little year or longer. The undercover operation through my narcotics unit, and the results are, I'm very happy with them.
What's the advantage of kind of letting them all pile up like that and getting them all at once?
We use a lot of times confidential informants, and we don't want to cause them any problems. And ongoing investigation, sometimes when you are read one problem, then it scares others off to another part of the community or the county, and just makes your investigation a lot harder. Mm-hmm. This way, you can make your case and make all the rest at the same time. That way, we have the edge instead of the drug dealers. These people were all putting a lot of drugs on the street. Our investigation don't stop here today. There's still other people that's going to be indicted. Investigations are still going on, and everybody that sells narcotics in Hawkins County takes a chance on ending up in jail. We have zero tolerance for them. We work day and night. We take every complaint we get seriously, and the public and family members and people have been a lot of help in this investigation by coming forward and giving us information we need to make these cases and to start investigations on these type of people. Drug sales has caused the thefts, the shoplifting, we had home invasion, burglaries.
Y'all see the trailer park area? It reminds me of the trailer park area I keep describing. It's up the hill behind the orange convenience store. You know, the one I showed you where somebody was buying a glass piece. And Janice, I'm going to discuss that as soon as this video's over. I do have some factual information based on Tennessee general statutes. Yes, Katie, that was one of the more important things about this to me. You know, the Avon ladies calling. Remember that. This is almost over. I thought it was important also to hear Ronnie tell us how anybody who is making narcotics sales in Hawkins County should be worried. Really, Ronnie? I know two people that have admitted on YouTube on multiple occasions to making narcotics sales, whether it was weed or whatever, in Hawkins County that still owe fines and fees, which would indicate they're on probation, and they still walk around free. Yes, he does, Scuba. Kind of reminds me of a light. And I want to know who is the person with the hood on the head. Okay, let's let this finish.
All this makes everything go up. And out of the 260 some I have in jail today, probably the majority of those, 250 some probably with drug related. Some of these people will be taken out of these communities and make these people feel a lot safer in their homes.
Thanks for joining. Please like, share, and subscribe. See ya. This is the way most people feel when you call the cops.
Say ain't got no sense. Okay. So, I'm getting something else that I'm going to play. What's up, Miss Smiley? Welcome. In a minute. I'm getting it together while I'm talking. Because we're going to talk about the fact that there ain't no money, but what's the judges got to say about some things? Yes, she is funny. Now, I want to talk about DCS for a minute. Okay, so generally, and I want to make this clear, I am not speaking in any specifics when I say generally. It is not specifically like maybe the son or nephew of FL, Katie. I'm speaking in generalities, unless I say that it's specific to this case. What I will tell you, one thing that sticks out, that has been confirmed, that sticks out to me, each boy has their own attorney. And I don't know in Tennessee if they consider them guardian ad litems as well. But each one of the boys has their own attorney, which I think is great. Let me tell y'all, that's great. That's great in more ways than one. And personally, now we're going on my opinion part from here on out. My opinion, it's great because that means each boy will have their interest represented individually. So to me, that's great. To me, also, based on past knowledge of Department of Children's Services cases in my state, I must say this, in North Carolina, I'm not as familiar with Tennessee, so it's very difficult for me to, I haven't been involved. Based on what I know in North Carolina, that generally happens to siblings removed from a home when there's a possibility or probability of criminal charges. Not necessarily against the children. That's not what I'm saying. Y'all might have to read between the lines a little bit on this one. I'm just saying, in North Carolina, previous cases in my state, the reason siblings from the same home were given separate attorneys in my state, being very specific, in my state, were because there was some type of criminal case involved before everything was said and done. Now, everything I can get from Tennessee's general statutes concerning Department of Children's Services and certain guidelines. Summer went missing on June the 15th. It was around a month. No, it does not, Pam. Nope. That does not mean that the boys are in separate residences at all. That just means that the state of Tennessee has determined that whatever's going on warrants each child having someone represent their best interest. Period. And that will be the tagline you would get if you ask anybody in the law enforcement. You could, Fab. I appreciate you asking. It's important for you guys to ask questions. I may not think of everything, and I need y'all to ask questions to pull stuff out of me. That's why we're chatting. The way it generally works is when the state takes a child from the home, and this is general statement, this is not specific This is not specific to the Wells case at all. Not Summer and the boys. This is not specific. This is general for Tennessee. Generally, once they're removed, or a child is removed from the home, there's a rehome plan of action, which requires the parent or parents to take specific actions and steps. And there's generally hearings at the 3-month, 6-month, 9-month, and 12-month marks. Generally, the 12-month mark hearing is the definitive mark. If the child has not been returned to the parents and the residents in the home before the 12-month mark, generally at the 12-month mark, a decision will be made, or an extension. And also generally, depending on what the reason is for the child's removal, the parenting rehome plan would be to make certain, say, things happen. Good morning, Tama. To make certain improvements, changes to the residents. Parenting classes. Possibly drug and alcohol assessments. Then you're going to have phone calls and video chats that are offered, and they will report. Did they call every night? How many times did they miss? Why did they miss? Then there'll be supervised visitation, and there'll be the same questions about those. And unless you are, with the fungulitis or hospitalized or something of that nature, it generally is not a good look if you miss phone calls and visitations. It generally is not a good look, just like if you get a DUI and they tell you need a drug and alcohol assessment, and you need to go take 6 classes. Okay? When you go to court for your DUI, if you've not had your assessment and you've not took those classes, it generally doesn't bode well for you. It's similar in this instance. If at the 12-month mark, you were, that plan of action for, like, say that Lacey was taken from me, and they give me a plan of action and tell me that I need to have the assessment and any classes that the assessment says I need to take, or plan of action it gives me. I need to go to parenting classes. I need to get drug tests and test clean. I need to make sure I can make 5 phone calls a week to speak to her. I need to make sure I do that. I get 2 hours visitation once a week. I need to make sure that I'm there for that, for every minute, on time, early, and that I don't leave early. Those are things that are generally discussed when it comes time to make certain decisions. Are parental rights terminated? Are the children, would my parental rights be terminated, or would Lacey be returned to the home with me? And those are things that are going to play an important part. Now, again, this is in my opinion. In my opinion, Summer went missing on June the 15th. Approximately 1 month later, give or take a day or two, the boys were removed from the home. So, that being said, sometime between now and August the 20th, I would expect there to be a hearing concerning those placements and what would happen. And again, matter of fact, let me just put the banner up so I don't have to keep saying it. My personal opinion. There we go. My personal opinion part of the broadcast. How about we say that? It's going across. Allegedly. No, honestly, I wouldn't. And it's just fucking sad and sorry, to be honest. But sometime between August the 15th and the 20th, I would expect that hearing Yeah, I have those pictures as well, Pam. I'm just not showing them because it's minor children. I've got those and a lot more. I don't even want to know why though. Ugh. What? Okay. Anyway, sorry y'all. I would think between August the 15th and August the 20th that they would have that 12-month hearing. And I personally believe if at that point a final adjudication is made one way or another, you will see Keith, absolutely. If you see something, say something. Because what would you rather? Would you rather have said something and be wrong, or not said something and have been right and only find out when you are attending that child's funeral, or that woman's funeral, or that man's funeral? But based on general statutes, Tennessee law, and everything else, I would expect sometime between the 15th of August and the 20th of August for them to have that final 12-month adjudication. The only reason that it might be postponed is it might be postponed until after Dawn gets out of jail. That would be the only reason that would make any sense. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't see that happening. I've never seen that happen before, especially in today's technology, because he can be there on video monitor. Thank you for posting the hotline, Cherokee girl. I appreciate that. I think once that final adjudication happens with the Department of Children's Services case, you will see a lot of movement, probably at warp speed. But for those that think there's been no movement in Summer's case, do y'all really think that all of a sudden Fred just got randomly pulled in on that Walmart warrant that he's had out for nearly 2 years? Do y'all really think JSB just randomly had to go into the sheriff's department to be talked to? There are no real coincidences like that in life, y'all. That's movement. That's movement in the case around people who's been shooting off their mouth and saying they know stuff. So now it's time to know. She sure did get arrested too, Miss Katie. You are correct. You are correct on that one. Sure enough did. Sure enough did. Oh, what's up, Tamarack? Hope I'm saying it right, Tamarack. Now, I'm going to play this video right here. the title of it, and thank you for my mod jerky that brought me this, because it was very interesting. The title of this, and this is Hawkins County News page that has all their minutes and all their meetings and everything else. This is Judge Todd Ross criticizes Hawkins County Commission for not funding local addiction treatment efforts. Now let me say that again. Yes, he was, Pam. Let me say that again, and there's a reason. Y'all remember Hawkins County's broke. They ain't got no money. Even though they just got $11 million in fungitis money, and they surely got their piece of the pie in the class action lawsuit for the opiates that went on. They were one of the 13 states, Tennessee was, and everybody got a nice little chunk of change. So I don't know why they broke. Yeah, where's the money, Katie? Where's all the money? Shit, where's all their money? What are y'all... Okay, let me ask it this way. They don't have the money to search for summer. They don't have, they don't have the money to search for summer. They don't have the money to pay their sheriff's deputies, even as much as the city of Rogersville. So what's up? What are they spending the money on? Maybe we need to pull some more budgets. Maybe I need to pull 20 and 21 and 22 and look at them too. They got a budget shortfall this year. Y'all got to get that ratified, or they're going to be in the same position they were in 2014, which is having Tennessee tell them they're going to unincorporate them and they're going to lose all federal and state benefits. Yeah. Sleight of hand, double something. Okay, I'm going to play this. I'm going to play it on a little bit faster speed. It's only 14 minutes long. We probably won't listen to all of it, but I think it's important. And then I have one other video and 2 news articles. One is about the Knoxville police chief that fires the lieutenant and sends the captain. And then another one is about drug activity in the Kingsport, Hawkins County area. Y'all, I need y'all to remember that there's certain alleys, they're buying alleys that they should have already owned. You got that shit right. Maybe you can, Scuba. Maybe you can give me one too. Anyway, remember Sullivan County and Hawkins County, and I always get confused if it's Washington or Greene, but there's areas, especially right there in the Beach Creek area, where you can drive 2 miles and you're in Hawkins County, and another 2 miles and you're in Sullivan, and another mile and you're back in Hawkins. Absolutely, Keith. I agree. And here's my question. I know Ronnie keeps telling us that they don't have a drug problem, but actually what he says is there's no bigger drug problem in the Beach Creek area than there is in any other areas. Now, we know from statistics and research that I presented previously that the Appalachian corridor is riddled with the H and the math and the fent. Y'all know we gotta say it kind of funky to match YouTube's stupid standards at times. But I'm gonna mute myself and let this play, because I honestly think it's worth listening to what this judge has to say and why he feels so strongly. Good night, Miss Katie. Thank you for joining us, darling. I think it's important to know why he feels so strongly. If you don't offer, you're busting the low-level addicts. We're not talking about the kingpins and the uppers like that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about your low-level addict. We're talking about your 70-year-old grandmama who had a car wreck and had a back injury and got hooked on pain pills and didn't get weaned off of them properly because her doctor went to jail because he's giving them to everybody. That's what we're talking about. That's what I'm going to let the judge tell you. But I like what he has to say. I think it's very, very important to know that if you want to stop the crime, you want to have less breaking and entering, you want to have less homelessness, you want to have less carjacking, less catalytic converters cut off, less copper going missing, and a whole bunch of other stuff, then you have to treat the addiction at some point, or it's a never-ending cycle. It's not like SA. It's not like, CP or DV. There is a chance for recovery. And I think all humans deserve that chance. While the judge is talking, if anybody is able to contribute to support the channel, it would be greatly appreciated. Just trying to make it till payday. Woo, come on Thursday. Alright, y'all. I'm going to let the judge talk.
Thank you all for taking a few minutes, and I know you're not voting on anything tonight, but I did want to come and speak to you about the baby dough money that Trent had mentioned.
Sorry to interrupt, but remember I just referred to the class action opiate lawsuit. The baby dough monies is additional monies that Tennessee and several other states got. Not all states got baby dough money. That's additional. If you have any questions about that and want to, I have 2 PDF files that I have downloaded. One is over 270 pages. I'll be glad to email it to anybody that would like to look over that and see the particulars of what we're speaking about. The other PDF file is the early filings in the class action opiate lawsuit that was brought against Big Pharma. That was one, which is a little different. But I'm going to let the judge talk to y'all about that, because wouldn't one think that the settlement monies that was brought against Big Pharma, because we had so many addicted to specific opiates that they lied to us about, and if you watched the documentary by Jake Tran that I posted in our community tab section a few days ago, it spoke to specifically which company started it, who owned it, and what they knew and what they didn't know, and why they lost this lawsuit, which is very important. If you didn't watch it, go back to the community tab, and you'll see where I posted it. It's a documentary on Big Pharma and the opiate. I forget what he called it, the opiate addiction, and the background. It's about 26, 27 minutes long. It's really good. It's very well done. And any questions that you have about what this judge is saying, I would love to play the documentary. I can't do it, they'll hit me. But if you're interested in what the judge is talking about and where it comes from, thank you, epidemic, thank you, allegedly, and what it's all based in, and where it actually began. It takes you there from when OxyContin was first invented up to this class action lawsuit. It's definitely worth a watch. It'll help bring you up to speed. But the baby dough monies was extra. And these monies, the baby dough monies, the class action monies, were one because They made addicts of people. Like I was talking about before. We were all raised and told our doctors were good. Do what your doctor tells you. Take all your antibiotics to the end because you might get sick again and they won't work right. Take this medicine as prescribed. It's your doctor. You're supposed to trust your doctor. You're supposed to do what your doctor tells you to do. That's how we were brought up. That was beat into us. At least me growing up. Doctor good. Doctor good. You know? And by trusting them and them getting whatever they got for, like I say, watch the documentary, you'll understand. It'll connect the dots that I'm not, and I can't right now. But all of this monies was because of the systematic addiction of the citizens of the U.S. So why would there not be monies coming from these big settlements to help stop the addiction? To help those that were addicted by Big Pharma, that were addicted to these opiates because of what happened. That's why they lost the damn lawsuit. And I think that's what you'll find the judge is about to say. I'm going to shut up and let him talk because he can do it more eloquently than I could ever dream of doing.
Let's tell you, first time I ever knew that Stacy Street was coming here was after he already came here. Read in the paper that they came here. First time I found out about this proposed thing in Carter County was last December when I was at the Tennessee Association of Recovery Court Professionals conference, and Judge Goodwin was there, and we were discussing it, and the lady that's in charge of the grants for the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services was drilling him about why they didn't apply for the grant that the governor signed into law on July 1st of last year. The governor signed a grant funding to provide funding for a residential treatment facility in West Tennessee and East Tennessee, paid for by the state. They didn't even bother to apply for it. But they come here asking us to give them the money that we supposedly sued for this person, Baby Doe. That's who's supposed to be getting help. And this, you know, what bothers me is, you know, I've been for 10 years, and I think Stacy Street came in here that I screenshotted it just because I thought it was extremely ironic. But his words to you the first time he came, I'll tell you right now, 10 years ago, if a criminal court judge stood in front of any county commission in the city and said, look, we don't need to put, and he said drug dealers in jail, we need to get them help, they would shot us on the courthouse lawn. Well, let's look back 10 years ago. What was that? That's when I took office. What did I do? I came here. I asked you to help me get a recovery court started. Started it myself. For the first year and a half, almost 2 years, I funded it out of my pocket. Anything they got, I paid for. Applied for grants, got a grant, found the additional money that nobody even knew what it was for, so to help supplement our expenses. And for the last 10 years, we've scraped to just be able to provide basic services to how many people we could to try to help them. And we've helped not as many as I'd like, but the ones that we have really helped, we have saved their lives, no doubt in my mind. And every time I've ever had to come here for anything, even if it was just to move money around in my own budget, because I want you to remember, we've never asked you for a dime of county money, never. Not one penny has this county ever given for recovery court or community justice or anything out of the budget that could have been spent on anything else. But anytime I've ever came, I've gotten raked over the coals about what are you doing, how many are you helping, what y'all doing over there, what do they have to do. I get all these questions thrown at me. And then I see these judges from out of county coming here, and all of a sudden we're ready just to throw money at them. Here you go. Here's $400,000. My budget was $50,000 a year until this year, and because they saw what I struggled with you guys to help get a raise for my one employee, they gave us another $20,000. So now we got $70,000, and the proposal is to give $400,000 to state, or not to the state. Basically, that's what you're doing. To the circuit court judges to service. My guess is if more than 5-6 people a year go to that program from Hawkins County, I'll be shocked. Let's be honest with you. I went and looked from July 1st of 2019 to June 30th of 2020. There were 460 some, I think, cases in criminal court in Hawkins County. 86 of those were drug cases. And remember, these are felony drug cases, which means they're selling drugs to other people, the addicts. This person's mom, this person's dad. They're selling them to these people. Just like the drug companies were that y'all sued, saying they need to pay for selling the drugs to these people. Now they're wanting you to give money to send more drug dealers to treatment while the mothers and fathers of this baby get nothing. That's what they're trying to do. And so far, that's what this commission's gone along with, and that's what the proposal is. I send more people to rehab in a week than this program will send to Carter County in probably a year. I mean, the amount of money, you want to know why you got to have a juvenile court full-time judge, or why they're asking for it? Because of the addicts, because moms and dads are on drugs, the grandparents are raising the kids. Jail's filling up. I heard somebody say, hear people all the time, it's going, so you think people tell you how to do your job. There's a lawyer in every corner, or a judge in every corner, apparently. But in 2012, when I took office, if you went back and looked at the numbers, and I've not done this in a long time, I did it a while back. I think I had Mr. Allen do that a while back, years ago. But the number of misdemeanor inmates in our jail versus state inmates, there's more misdemeanor inmates, which is ones I send there. There's more of those in the jail now than there was when I took office. I'm not letting everybody out of jail by any means. By any means. Come up there and watch sometime. I hear, and I don't believe half of what I hear because y'all know how that is. But, if y'all think that people y'all talk to don't come back and say stuff to everybody else, crazy. So I get to hear stuff that y'all said supposedly all the time. So come up there sometime, see what we go through. Come to one of our little Halloween parties at the VFW twice a year, where we're trying to scrape together a few $100s so we can help somebody get some teeth because their teeth are rotted out from using meth, or so we can help them put tires in their car so they can get back and forth to treatment. Those are the things that we do with no help from anybody. That's what I've been doing for 10 years. I keep hearing we need to help the people here, we need to help the people here. You're right. We need to help the people here. We need to help them in Hawkins County. We don't need to send it to the Carter County and help them there, help the drug dealers there, and leave the addicts here with nothing. That's what they're asking you to do. And so I'm just wondering what would I like to do? I've already talked to the owner of the property between Domino's and the Justice Center. He's willing to sell that to us at a reduced price. I would like to take that baby dough money. I'd like to build a facility there. There's ways that we can reduce costs for that. And I've talked to Mr. Henry, asked him if we built a facility there, would he be willing to move his probation office there? So there's people there already during the day, so we don't have to worry about that. We could take some of those homeless people that are staying in the jail because they don't have anywhere to go until I can find them a place to go. We might be able to give them a place to sleep for a few nights until we can find them a permanent place. Do that every day.
Do you think we could also even incorporate that with Isaiah 117 house? They're looking for a facility and you can combine.
I'll be honest with you. I don't expect anything from this, but I had to come ask. I've never got anything before.
I just wondered if that would be an option.
I don't know.
They have
I
have to own the property that they.
Yeah, I'll just be honest with you. I don't think putting a bunch of small children in close proximity to a rehab type facility would be the best idea. But I don't know. I mean, But we could put a multi-use facility there, and you know, I've thought about this for years. Every time I drive by there, I mean, about a little housing area, a little area with like a kitchen and a day center, and a little basketball court. I don't know, somewhere where we can send them. You've got people in your jail that we're feeding, we're housing, got jailers taking care of them. That if we had a facility like that to send them to, they wouldn't have to be in there. I've got homeless people. I had a lady stayed in jail for about 5 or 6 months last year because she had nowhere to go. She got out one time and came back in on another PI about a day and a half later. When she came in, I read the affidavit. She wasn't intoxicated. She got herself arrested because she had nowhere to go. And the only thing I've got is to leave them in jail until I can get them somewhere. I asked the sheriff, I was told today that we can't transport anybody else out of the district because of gas prices and stuff. So now you're gonna have people sitting in jail that I've got beds for in rehabs in Knoxville or Pigeon Forge or Dearville or wherever. Now we're gonna just house them in the jail and keep them there and feed them and look after them because we can't afford to drive them to Knoxville.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I agree with what you said. Okay. What kind of return or promise have we got if that was to get approved in Carter County first? And like what you said foremost, you're supposed to look out in Hawkins County. If we've got that kind of problem now, if that was to pass, from my understanding, half of it was funded through the state. Is that correct?
That's not my program. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they didn't just ask the state to fund it to start with, because the state already had the money.
Okay.
But they didn't take that money, they want our money.
From my understanding, the only recourse that we have, the next commission, if it votes, if it passes, you get one board member on that. Okay.
That's not, you can put as many board members on as you want to up there. What people don't understand is the way criminal court works is in order for somebody to get sentenced to a sentence long enough to make it worth their while to go to a year or 18-month long program, most of the criminal court, most of the criminal court people that get convicted, they've already been in jail for 6, 8 months, a year, whatever. They don't have much time left. You think somebody's got 3 months left on their jail sentence is going to agree to go to an 18-month long program in jail somewhere else? No. Told Mr. Roach it's more than 5 or 6 a year ago, I'll be shocked. And we're going to get $400,000 as a proposal to help that program for 5 years.
Would Carter County help us is my question.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. If we use that money to build something here in the county, a structure of facilities, and work that would be here for decades.
Okay, what kind of logistic plans have you filed or drawn anything out if something was to get built, have to be funded future? Who would operate it?
What I've looked at doing is if we can get it going, if we can get the facility going, then what I hope to do is fashion it kind of like Judge Sloan's houses in Jefferson County. Once you get them going, then their participants are required to work, they're required to pay rent, and they eventually become self-funded like all these places I send people to, everywhere. There's one place, Volunteers for Recovery in Knoxville.
Judge Ross, I have a question.
Let me just answer real quick for him. But there's an organization called Volunteers for Recovery in Knoxville, and I think they've got 15 or 20 different houses now because the guys go in there, they work, they give them jobs, making $17 an hour.
Fully funded, how does it, can you get extra funding, or is it, which way, is it self-funded?
Theirs are all self-funded, yeah, and that's, I know that that's the way it would have to be. It'd have to be set up that way. Because I know we're not going to invest to fund it. I know that's probably not going to happen. But I think it could work out and be self-funded. At least we'd have something. At least I'd have somewhere to put people.
I agree with you. The money needs to stay here instead of Carter County.
Some of those people in the jails they're exactly where they need to be. Others are in there because they have addiction issues, and we don't have anything to offer them. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I sit there and bang my head against the wall every day. I mean, I'm doing stuff all the time, all weekend, all evening. But it's not just my recovery court. I mean, that's a very small percentage. That's what I was telling Mr. Roach early. My recovery court is a very small percentage of the people that we deal with. Our community justice program, You know, we've probably got, my guess is probably 70 to 100 people right now in rehabs all over North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, down in Memphis, Knoxville. And those are people that would otherwise just be sitting in the jail, and we'd be feeding them and housing them and everything. Oh, that's one other point. So right now, the people that they want to send to Carter County.
Judge.
Hold on.
With all due respect, sir, let's.
Can I make this last point?
Let's try.
I'm just trying to answer their questions.
Short and brief. No offense. Thanks, sir.
I'm just answering their questions. But,
go ahead.
The inmates that they're talking about sending up there, the state is currently paying us to house those people. Right? State inmates, we get paid to house them, correct? So instead of the state paying us to house those inmates, now we're going to let them out of our jail, and we're going to pay for them to go be housed somewhere else. I mean, I don't understand that logic. So, Ms. Trent, you have a question? I'm sorry. Ms. Trent, did you want to ask something?
I did have a question, but in order to save your time, I'll
You can save my time. I'm here.
Okay.
I'll be back one day.
Commissioner Turner.
If he has anyone else to speak, that's fine.
Kathy, if you'll rewind, you might understand why. And it's not a budget meeting. This is a judge specifically talking about the baby doe case funds that Hawkins County received, as well as the funding from the class action lawsuit. I explained all this. And while, yes, it actually could help find Summer, it actually could have helped prevent Summer from being missing. It can damn sure help prevent from there being another Summer.
Fine, but I just wanted to make a comment.
And by the way, if you check the title of this, it does not say anything about Summer in the title. And it is all relevant. Everything that goes on in Hawkins County, everything that ties back to the court system, to the law enforcement, and to the lack of funding to be able to arrest, properly patrol, properly do their job as a sheriff's department, directly has affected Summer's case. And if you think it hasn't, then you are sadly mistaken. You damn right I need an accounting of those funds. Everything is connected. If there were more sheriff's deputies, if there was more funding, if the funding was more properly and evenly distributed, then the law enforcement would be able to properly do their job. And there wouldn't be drug dealers that felt comfortable enough standing out on YouTube saying what they sold and who they sold it to and when. And absolutely, Keith, thank you for saying it more eloquently than I ever could. This can definitely help prevent another kidnapping and assist law enforcement, as well as declutter the court system, as well as take the number of persons housed in the jail facility way down, which would take a burden off of the county. Because real talk, real talk, if the county is as broke as they say, who's paying for the inmates to eat right now? Who's paying the light bill at the jail? Who's paying the water bill at the jail? Who, if they get cut or break a leg, who's paying that? Who pays for those doctor bills? The citizens, the tax money. So instead of funding another sheriff, they've got these homeless people that have nowhere to go, so they commit minor crimes so they can be housed. And then you've got your lowest level addict that's probably also homeless or borderline homeless that's being housed. But if they're put in a facility like this judge is talking about, they got to earn it. Whether it's working in the kitchen and cleaning the house that they live in and getting paid, or getting taken to a job and picked up and getting paid. And their money goes right back into the system to pay for their housing and their food and their clothing and their education and medicines if necessary. And that's what the hell this money's for. Are you kidding me? What do you think this opiate class action lawsuit money is for? What do you think the money from the Baby Doe case is for? Why do you think there was a baby doe born, or any baby born, addicted to opioids? Thank you, LeBar. Fucking thank you. What do you think that Candace and Grandis were doing that day? So yes, it is relevant. Exactly, astronaut in the ocean. Thank you so very much. Is it not sad that we got sheriff's deputies standing up in the middle of the budget meetings talking about, I moved back in with my mama and my daddy. I gave up my health insurance and all my insurance. Blue Willow, bam, look at that. Remember the 2019 budget? $3.4 million just went poof and disappeared. Anyway, to me, it's relevant to answer you, Miss Kathy Marsh, and the other person in the chat that asked the question. Here's the relevance. You want to know the relevance? Here's the relevance. In my personal opinion, and it says my personal opinion section of the broadcast, in my personal opinion, drugs played an integral part in Summer going missing. Whether it was as simple as that's what caused somebody to be knocked out or distracted enough that they weren't paying attention and she walked off and somebody snatched her up, or whether something more nefarious occurred. Drugs impair judgment. With judgment being impaired, babies get hurt. They're also born addicted. Hence the Baby Doe settlement. So what did that... Here's my question, Hawkins County Commission. What money are you spending from the Baby Doe settlement to try and stop babies being born in your county addicted to opiates? And opiates covers a wide array of things. A wide array. To the big daddy, the big boy, H. And the new thing that's in everything that they can put it in, fentanyl, all the way down to hydrocodone and Ultram, because that's categorized. The Baby Doe case is settlement monies about babies born addicted to opiate and opiate derivatives. Period. That's what the money comes from. That's what the settlement's about. Hence the Baby Doe name. The class action lawsuit against the pharmaceutical companies, one of which went bankrupt, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was Purdue Pharma. And I want to say it was like 1919 to 1929 range when the Oxycontin was put out. Did they know that this drug that they marketed and said it gave you 12 continuous hours of pain relief, that the maximum it would last was 7? and that you would want so bad to not hurt again that you'd take you another and another one and another one and another one. And before long, in a very short time, you were addicted. And then because your doctor got busted by the DEA and ATF and couldn't write them no more, rather than wean those people, that grandmother that's 73 years old that's taking Dilaudid and oxycodone at home 4 to 6 times a day each, just got cut off and didn't get weaned the way that we know as medical professionals needs to happen. What do when you do that? You create an addict that now has to find that medicine on the black market or go doctor shopping. Let's be real. I said we was going to chat real. No holds barred. So you ask and I'm going to answer. Because I've been... What y'all think I've been on the road doing? I'm asking the hard questions. Yeah, it seems... Blue... And let me say this too. I think the tax assessor, from what I've looked at in Hawkins County, might need reevaluation and to step up and do the job. Oh, I've not heard of that one. Why? If it's worse than the fent, because from what I understand about the fent, and I'm gonna call it that, fent, so YouTube don't strike us and we can't get this combo really going. From what I understand about that, you could take as much as 2 to 3, what would equal 2 to 3 grains of sand. Pretty coarse grit sand, but sand. And your average weight person could overdose on that much. It doesn't take much of the fent at all to kill you. Please know that I know what the hell I'm talking about. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. We recently had a 14-day period in the county I live in with 27 overdoses. 9 deaths. 2 of which were high school students. 17 years old. We have 2 high schools. 1 at each high school. They got shit laced with fent. And it killed them. Instantly. Heart gone. Dead. That's as real as I can get it. Thank you, Melissa. I'm so sorry. I'm not saying what I'm saying to be mean or hurt nobody. But we got to face it. If you bury your head in the sand and ignore it, it won't go away. When you pull your head up, you're just going to have less people you love around you and more funerals. Fent is pharma. How about that one, Blue? Fent is pharma. I'm not trying to hurt nobody. I'm not trying to be mean to nobody. I'm just trying to be as real as I can. Because if we don't attack this and own it now, we ain't gonna have a next generation. They're all gonna be gone, and we're gonna outlive them. And let me tell you something, Melissa, you can attest to this. Outliving your babies is not something you ever want to have to face. Not ever.
Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Judge Todd Ross, for being real and honest. Absolutely, Keith. Because he lives in her heart. It is. Having to know that comes from me. Somebody that has to know every day, every minute that I may have to face that at any time in the next 24 months. They would. Yeah, exactly, LeBar. That's why with oxycodone, they start you out with the 10 milligram, and they go all the way up to, I think, 80, maybe 120. There's like 10 milligram, 20 milligram. I don't know about 30. I know there's 40 and an 80. Like I said, go to the community tabs page. Watch the documentary. It's short and sweet, but it'll really give you the knowledge you need to understand what's going on. Oh, wow. Oh, see, Blue, I didn't know if it went past the 80 and 120. I honestly don't know. Yeah, I said this working with the public and retail throughout the fungolitis. And by the way, while everybody was on lockdown, my ass was working. I missed 3 days during the entire fungolitis year. Absolutely, Melissa, absolutely, but they can't get more enforcement when all their money is taken up arresting, housing, and feeding, and taking care of those that are already addicted and homeless. There's got to be, police officers. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. LeBar, you are 100% correct. That's what I'm saying. Literally, grains of sand. A grown person, what's equal to 3 grains of sand, can OD and kill you. Sure do. Melissa, in our last live, I showed where it was coming in food product, in flour, and baby formula, and everything else. Absolutely, why? And I understand more than y'all realize. Since he got told he's stage 4. And if this experimental trial don't work, 18 to 24 months, I understand. I really understand. I just need a minute. Y'all give me your thoughts on this video, and we're going to discuss what's said, and we're going to discuss the letter that was just published. I can't show it because in reality, if the story and the letters have been sold to the Sun newspaper, they're a very litigious organization, and I don't want them to sue me. And I'm just being real.
Don Wells and Candace Bly have definitely displayed some questionable behavior since their daughter, Summer Wells, went missing. They have shown very little emotion, and it seemed like subconsciously, Don knew he was never going to see Summer again. Why else would a father to a missing 5-year-old at the time speak of seeing her in the resurrection just a week after she went missing? It doesn't add up. The clip I'm about to play for you is taken from the channel No Thanks Investigates. I was pretty alarmed by this interview with Don, because he was asked to sincerely plead, and his response is everything but that. That's why I also asked the question, why the sudden change of heart? Why put out this letter to the kidnappers, a year later, from jail? But when he was free to search and plead, he didn't do so. How does any of this make sense?
Here you just really just pour out your own emotions and your own thoughts. No reading a cell phone, nothing that was written. Please just come out and just say what you really feel, because that's what we want to see from Don right now. And then we can get to the next step and move on.
Well, yeah, I know they all want to see that, but you know what? Here's the thing. I've pleaded with them. I've begged with them. I've wrote them letters on my Facebook account several times. I'm done pleading with this, whoever the fuck it is. I'm not pleading with them no more. This has turned into a whole new game at this point. No,
Don,
no,
is the reason,
no more mercy.
Is the reason that
Do you
you're
think
not?
I'm gonna plead with some sorry motherfucker like that? Are you serious?
Well, I would.
We want Summer home. We want Summer to come home.
You want me to plead?
I'll plead.
I want Summer home. Oh,
I'll plead.
There's no more pleading with a dirty motherfucker like this from now on. There is no more pleading with someone like this.
What do I want? I want to
Now, thank you, Melissa. You do, Keith. You're right. Thank you, LeBrier. I wanted to say, a lot of people are saying the handwriting is different. They don't know if it's Don or not. Well, we discussed previously, months back, how Don's handwriting on the deed where he signed looks way different than the paperwork he signed in October in front of a judge and a district attorney. My question is, if your agitated state or inebriated state can affect even your print or writing, cursive or print, if Don truly has been clean and sober since February, do y'all not think that his handwriting would look different? Just a thought, just devil's advocate and asking that question because I feel it needs to be asked. And I'm going to tell you, there's not a single bone in my body that believes that Grandma and Mama and Dad don't have some type of guilty knowledge, whether it's before, during, or after. They know something. Real talk. I've felt that way since the beginning. That being said, I have to honestly say that you think about it. If someone is drunk or high or whatever, they're going to write differently, quite possibly, especially a long amount of writing, than they are sober. Especially someone that has had an addiction issue for the length of time that Don has. We know it's been many years. Yeah, we discussed that, Miss Melissa. It's a camper though. A lot of people have a misconception. She didn't have to pay people to come move it. She could back her truck right up, pop the hitch on, and roll out. That's what it's made to do. It's a camper. It's not a trailer, you know. But right, astronaut, exactly. He had plenty of time to write and think. Now, what I want to say is, they're talking about how this letter's a plea to the kidnappers. I don't see that. And I wish I was able to put a copy up and go over it line for line with y'all. But what I want to say is, even in this letter, what pisses me off is, okay, good, LeBar, I get that. So basically anything 30, over 30 is timed release. It makes sense. But it doesn't, and maybe I'm misunderstanding, but it even told us the documentary by Jake Tran that I watched and posted on the community section said that people quickly found that by crushing and either liquefying and using a needle or snorting, that they could get around the time release part. I agree. And Blue, that's exactly what I think. That's what I think. I agree. And somebody made a point too. I'll chew them, okay? Somebody had made a point. No, the letter wasn't about Summer at all. And I'm going to get to that. Somebody made a point. And it is a really good point. Dawn's sister said she'd been in Paris. There is a Paris, Texas, by the way. In case y'all didn't know. Just saying. Keith, as I understand the letter, is Dawn supposedly making a plea for Summer to the kidnappers. But what I want to say is it's more. I don't even know what Craig is, y'all. I don't know what Craig Mountain is. I'm sorry. To me, his letter is more about poor me. Look what has happened to me because of my child going missing. Look how much I'm suffering. Look how hurt I am. You know, I lost my job at 13 years. My wife can't work. We got people hollering at us and doing. Got you. So if Cherokee, if it's any way other than orally by mouth taken, it gets around the time release part. Yes. And let me, yes, victim mentality, absolutely. And let me say this, the signature of signing Summer's father is a distancing move, in my opinion. In my opinion, the letter was not written as a plea to Summer's kidnappers or as anything for Summer. In my opinion, that letter was written and timed the way it is for a reason. I believe the case with the boys is getting ready to come to a head. It's getting closer to time for Don to get out. And it's about public opinion and trying to have it on his side and being seen in a good light when he goes to court. Okay, thank you, YB So Nosy, because that was my next question. Because the time release formulation of it, one, is supposed to make it last for the full 12 hours and be a preventative to overdose. How do I say this, Blue? y'all bear with me because there's some things I have to be very careful how I word. Really, Cherokee. So if you crush it up and took it, say, like a goodie powder, it actually negates the time release properties. Bam. And see, that was part, and I really, guys, if you did not watch that documentary, please watch it. And check out the link that I posted to the video that Penny, aka Fizzle, posted. Some people went like, this can't be the right thing, it's Bill Clinton. Listen, it's very important. Matter of fact, I'm going to play the audio because I want y'all to understand what she's telling. And I'm going to break it down for anybody that has any questions, please. But what I was going to say about the boys, in my personal opinion, I think they're already talking, and that's why they each have their own attorneys. That's my personal opinion. It has, Annette. It has. Let me say this emphatically. The attention that Summers' case has brought to drugs, drug overdose, drug addiction, and human trafficking, I guarantee you, Summer, you've already saved more lives than we'll know how to count. So many people owe you. And I say we keep it going positive because I'm not going to stop. We're going to get Summers Act in place. It's not going to be some act that's beneficial to a parent that may or may not have done something to a child. It's going to be an act that turns our truck drivers back in to the eyes and ears of the road that we need them to be. And when I say that, I don't mean just 18-wheelers. I mean all transport drivers. All. I'm talking about FedEx. I'm talking about UPS. I'm talking about airline pilots. I'm talking about your Coca-Cola delivery men and your Pepsi delivery men. All of those people who crisscross states, counties, nations. We need them to help us. And we need to be humble enough to say we need their help. And that's what our government is missing. They need to learn to humble themselves sometimes. I do see something, say something, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean what I say, you guys. When the civil portion, when the Department of Children's Services portion of the case is fully adjudicated and closed, I have a feeling it's going to look like the start of a NASCAR race with the starting pistol going off, enforcement racing to take action. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe my prayers are going to be not answered. But I'm telling you now, if they don't, then I'll be damned if they ain't somebody who's dirty guilty. Then I'm not saying there ain't, but woof. Absolutely. Absolutely, because drug addiction definitely plays a part in mental health. Don't believe me? Sit over here on my front porch for about a week and watch my neighbor. He's been on one. Part of the reason I had no sleep It's because every 15 minutes, either he's going out the driveway or there's one pulling in. You got that right. You don't look for something if you know where it's at, Pam. I agree. Something, someone. Absolutely. Let me pull that up real quick, though. I'm going to play that audio for you guys. Let's see. I'm trying to see if this one has audio while I'm pulling that up to go ahead and be playing this articles. This one does. We'll share it while I'm queuing up that interview. And I know a lot of people didn't get it. They were like, what does this Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky investigation have to do with Summers' case? Well, aren't we trying to figure out? Okay, great, LeBar, because I hate to give misinformation, but I don't know a lot of things on that, and I need help. You're good, LeBar, it's fine, baby. No problem. Absolutely, not just social commentary, but Fizzle gives a great commentary before. Yeah, he didn't inhale either. But it's those splitting of hairs, Melissa. It's that wordy wordness. I do it too, Lamar, so don't worry. Every time I try to say can't, it types cabby. But absolutely, manipulation. Exactly. I heard that, BJ. No, sorry, you just kind of made me laugh and giggle. Okay. Yes. And I want to go over that. I'm going to play that audio. Right now is the title. I'm going to let the audio of this and the video play while I'm pulling that up. The title of this article, and you're going to see it says Knoxville. But remember, when somebody asks me what does Knoxville have to do with Summers' case, where did Don go when he went to buy dope? And then ask me what Knoxville has to do. It's Knoxville Police Chief fires lieutenant, suspends captain following an investigation into racist behavior. I'm going to let it play right quick while I pull up that interview. Exactly, Knoxville. That's what we're talking about, Knoxville.
Hyundai Tucson versus Honda CR-V. Hyundai Tucson wins every time. Now for a limited time, lease the Tucson for just $309 a month.
New police chief is firing a lieutenant and suspending a captain. Good evening. Glad you're with us for WVLT News at 6 o'clock. I'm Ted Hall.
And I'm Amanda Hera. Thanks for joining us. This all stems from an internal affairs investigation over claims that a racist comment created a hostile work environment back in 2020.
The officer at the center of that investigation resigned, but Lieutenant Michael Earlywine has been fired after a second internal affairs investigation found he made untruthful statements in the original case. You'll recall when the new KPD Chief Paul Noel took the job, he promised ethics would be a top priority within the department.
Well, Captain Donald Jones is suspended for 10 days. Investigators say he should have contacted Civil Service, the Law Department, or Internal Affairs as soon as he heard allegations of a hostile environment. You can read the Internal Affairs investigation involving the two officers. Find that in the As Seen On section of the WVLT News app.
Hyundai Tucson versus Honda.
Okay, that was the end of that. Sorry. Now, I'm going to play this audio. I'm probably going to pause it just for commentary. He does, Pam, a lot of past tense. Right now, I want us to concentrate on really listening and understanding how to apply what Penny teaches you here, what we hear Bill Clinton say, and what Penny teaches you about it. How to apply this, not just to Summers' case, but any time you hear a suspect or person of interest being questioned. It's very pertinent. Sometimes it's not what the person says, but what they don't say and how they say it.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again.
I'm going to say this again. 3 statements in order to set up what he's about to say, instead of simply stating it. When you're telling facts, you simply have to state them. When you're telling a lie, you have to convince the people that what you're about to say is the truth. And that's what I believe he's doing. President Clinton is a very smart man, and he's using very carefully chosen words here. What President Clinton says here is that he did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Sexual relations with that woman?
That woman being Monica Lewinsky. But he uses the term that woman to distance himself from Monica Lewinsky, when in fact, we all now know
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again.
I'm going to say this again. 3 statements in order to set up what he's about to say, instead of simply stating it. When you're telling facts.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. Understand what he just said. Now, I want to expand on that a little further. And I want y'all to think about this. When someone answers a question like that, and it depends on what your conscious and subconscious definition of sexual relations is, whether or not you're telling the truth or lying. Now, where that's also applicable in Summer's case, let's think about that. When somebody, a lot of talk has been had about lie detector tests. Lie detector tests are only as effective as the person giving the test and asking the questions. Sometimes it's the question that you ask. If you ask somebody, was it a normal day? They may tell you yes. Their normal day may involve drinking a 5th of liquor, smoking a bag of pot, and making a tub of meth. Okay? That's subjective. A lot of times, right, originally, but they did end up taking tests, Blue. A lot of times, the question you ask is just as important as the answer that's given. If you ask me, if you ask me, do you think Blue is, okay, let me just put it in the context we're listening to now. You ask me, did I think that Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky had sexual relations? I might say yes. But to him, sexual relations maybe just means intercourse. And if they didn't have that and they had fellatio, then to him, he did not tell a lie. But if you ask me the same question as Monica, let's pretend I'm Monica, you ask me these same questions, right, astronaut? I'd love to see that happen. You ask me the same question as Monica, and I would have to answer yes, because in my mind, either of those things, whether it's the actual act of, making a baby, or other types that won't make a baby, it depends on what your conscious and subconscious definition of it is. You can ask two people the same question and get the same answer, and then be the two people you're asking, did they have relations with each other? You can ask him and her both the same question on a lie detector, and he might pass it and she might fail, is my point. That's very, very important to think about. Now I'm going to go back to this. This is why when I saw what Penny, and I'm not taking credit, Penny found this, or Fizzle as she now goes by. I'm not taking credit for what she did. I'm just expounding on it and telling y'all where my mind goes with it. And I got what she was saying, Oh, why be so nosy? That's because she knows she lied. Yep, I was. You right about that, Annette. I was brought up a Southern Baptist. Exactly, though. And that could make a big, huge thing. That's a big difference. It has your moral compass, your religious background, and your theology can greatly affect, And my whole point about it is you can take, like I said, you can take a husband and wife couple and you can ask them the same question, knowing that they should have the same answer on a lie detector, and both of them can pass it and give you a different answer. Ask them, did you have sexual relations last night? He might say no. She might say yes, because their definition of the term is different. Astronaut, nope, she's not kidding. That's the real truth. Because she's a liar. Liar, pants on fire. And if she's not lying, she's an even bigger monster than anybody can ever say that anybody else is, because you knew this shit and you didn't tell it for almost a year. What if you'd have told it on day one? You don't know what might have changed. Or maybe you do, Jody Sue.
You simply have to state them. When you're telling a lie, you have to convince the people that what you're about to say is the truth. And that's what I believe he's doing. President Clinton is a very smart man.
Think about what he just said. When you're telling a lie, you have to convince people you're telling the truth. How can we apply this to certain situations like we're just discussing with JSB? when you're telling the truth, you don't need to provide. You'll need to say, well, you can ask so-and-so, they can tell you, or you go look here. Now, mind you, I have a habit of bringing receipts. It's just a thing. But I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I'm going to tell you what I did. I'm going to hand you my receipt, like dropping the fucking mic, and I'm going to walk off. Annette, I'm not sure on the two wrongs don't make a right thing, how that fits with what we're talking about. I'm a little confused right there. But, yeah, exactly. Blue, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's just something like, I'm not going to deal with the bullshit. I'm not going to deal with your drama. I'm going to tell you what I got to say. Here you go. Don't believe me, read that shit and keep it pushing. I don't got time for the bullshit. But, oh yeah, right. I got you. Yeah. But what I won't do is sit here. You've heard the term, the lady doth protest too much. It directly goes to what we're speaking of. If I have to keep sitting here saying to you, I'm going to tell you some good shit, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm probably lying. As soon as somebody starts out the sentence with, I'm going to tell you the truth, or I'm going to be real with you, or I'm going to be honest with you, there's probably a little bit of something up right there. You know, I mean, now if every time they make a statement, they say that, and yeah, you know, maybe not. Yeah, a bit dog will holler, Annette. You right about that shit. Okay, let's go back and let this finish, because I'm telling you, Penny put this out here, and she dropped gems. She dropped diamonds and platinum. You just have to know how to apply what's being said by this FBI agent to any situation, not just the one being spoken about. That's the difference. That's what we have. You have to be able to think outside of the box and open that box up and apply what's contained inside of it to any and all situations. You listen to this, it's going to be, and get it, it's going to be real hard for a motherfucker to lie to you too.
And he's using very carefully chosen words here. What President Clinton says here is that he did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Sexual relations with that woman.
That woman being Monica Lewinsky. But he uses the term that woman to distance himself.
Bingo, Blue. Einstein. Now. Okay, makes sense, LeBar, because the documentary that I was talking about from Jake Tran actually has clips from that movie in it, so that makes good sense. That's why I can't play it. I'll get struck like crazy. He's a huge channel, but it's on my community tab section. Let's see. When I finish playing this, I can tell you the exact name of the documentary. I can't back out of it right now. So oh, I forgot what he just said that I was going to... Oh, the distancing, where he says that woman, goes to what I was talking about in the letter that Don just wrote. Summer's dad. Distancing language. Why is it necessary? Why didn't he just sign it Don? Or Daddy? Or Dad? Or Love Dad? Summer's dad. That's distancing from the situation. Absolutely. Using pronouns instead of making it personal. Because it makes it feel subconsciously to the listener like they're not that close. That they don't know each other that, you know. Bingo, Keith, you're right. If you listen and apply this, you will be able to see right through the charade of what is really going on in any situation. Running you around the mulberry bush, period. Absolutely. Absolutely, Pam. Abso-freaking-lutely. Since day one they have. I'm definitely gonna check it. I've got Hulu, so I'm in. You got me. I'm watching it after this live stream. I don't know about Rote 4, but I'm guaranteeing it was helped with. And the reason I don't know about if Tim Mullins wrote that letter for Dawn or not is I understand that it was released by the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, the jail. So Tim would have had to have dictated it over the phone, which they would know that because they are supposed to be listening in on the calls and recording them. All inmates, not just in Tennessee. Hey, lovely lady. Thank you, my darling. Absolutely. It does amplify.
From Monica Lewinsky, when in fact, we all now know that he did have a sexual relationship with her. He also uses the words sexual relations.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Sexual relations with that woman.
He's using those specific words because he wants people to have a very strict interpretation of what he's saying. What he's doing is committing a lie of omission. He's saying he didn't have sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky, but what he's not saying is the guilty behavior of having sexual activity with her. He's implying that nothing happened, when in fact all he's saying is, we didn't engage in sexual intercourse. So it's a misdirection and a deception, but carefully clad in very specific language that appears.
How many times have we said that this person saying this and this person saying that in Summer's case was misdirection? Just saying.
Appears to be a denial when it's not a denial at all. That's what I would drill down on to find out what he actually did with Monica Lewinsky. After every confession, the investigator should drill down into the details, both with the person who's confessing and outside, to verify or refute the details of that confession. When there's inconsistency between known fact and what somebody says in a confession, that undermines the credibility of the confession. Many times cases will be successful or
LeBar, you're fine. Streamlabs is an automated bot, and it's not a big deal. The only reason you're told is because they just removed the comment, so it's not there, so no one can get in trouble. Real talk. And YouTube's community standards changed, like since the shooting in Texas. We can't type Texas in the chat, or I can't type it anywhere in the title of anything. It's a word. It's a word just like the FUCK is a word that is against community standards, and it changes day to day. Like shit, I don't know half the time. Nope, not supposed to. It's a violation of YouTube community standards, so one of the mods will remove it. Oh, you can type it. It can just get me struck. And basically cause them to flag the video and take it down. Usually it's after they do a manual review. You good, Blue? They'll get it. We good.
or fall apart based on what happens during the course of an investigative interview. So we use behavioral analysis principles to determine whether a confession is accurate and reliable or a false confession. The thing is that every person is an individual, and we have to make sure that we take a holistic look at all of these things and the entire behavior that a human being exhibits when they're undergoing interview or interrogations.
Let's see. Right here is the documentary. It's The Secret Family That Poisoned America. You should be able to see. It won't strike them, astronaut. If they remove it, the mods can remove it without you even knowing. Streamlabs just be calling people out. I don't know what its problem is. Keith Cherokee lives right in the area where all that occurred. Yeah, I noticed that, Pam. She was distancing herself from Dawn. Yeah. If Streamlabs bothers you too bad, you can block them like any other user. I didn't tell y'all that, but you can. On the screen, it says, check this out and tell me I was wrong. In the previous live, I was talking about how that, and this is before I even saw this documentary, how that doctors were how we as a nation were hooked. It says The Secret Family That Poisoned America, and it has a link right above the red box to click on to take you to the documentary by Jake Tran. Like I said, it's 32 minutes and 52 seconds long, and it even tells you who owned Purdue, where they got the OP that's on the screen, where that came from, where they pulled it up, how long they had it without anybody being able to make a generic, and originally, let me, and it'll break it down, but originally these opiates that the nation became addicted to were only used for cancer treatment. They were only used for cancer treatment. Morning Minute Mama T. Right, Blue. Even lower doses. That's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Then the patent expired. See, let me explain something to you. You know how when a medicine first comes out, like for instance, that's right, the sales started pumping the doctors and gave the doctors incentives. But let me explain something to you. This is how every medicine that comes out, I don't care if it's for fungulitis on your ingrown toenail. When a medicine is first produced, just like my Zyrtec that I used to take for allergies that quit working after I had the fungulitis. When it first comes out, that patent on that medicine guarantees that you can't have a generic equivalent available for, I think it's 5 years. So for the first yes, And LeBrier, when Purdue did that was after that 5-year patent expired. They changed one chemical in the pill, one chemical makeup, just one chemical slightly changed, and it changed the whole pharmacology of it. And they were able to get another 5-year patent, and the general public for back pain, migraines, knee pain, hip pain were now able to be prescribed and being pushed, the doctors, to prescribe these to patients. And it was a drug that probably only should have ever been prescribed to cancer patients. Sackler is the name of the family surname that began Purdue and build it up. Watch this documentary and it'll explain all that. It was very eye-opening. And a lot of them don't, Melissa. A lot of them don't. They're not allowed to. Up to 20 years. Generally it's 5. With the FDA, I know, for instance, the Xarelto that my mom has to take for blood thinner, there's still not a generic equivalent. The way it works, when they first come out with the medicine, you're basically granted a monopoly on that medication that you came up with the chemical compound of. Your pharmaceutical company is granted a monopoly, and I think it's generally 5 years. And once that patent expires, after that, there's levels to them, but basically after that first 5 years, generally, other companies are now allowed to come in. They get the pharmacological makeup, and they can make a generic equivalent. So where you're charging $30 per pill, that company comes in and starts, and now it's available for $5 a piece. And they have options and choices. And every pharmaceutical company can make it and knock it off and market it. That's why you have, I'm trying to think of something. But that's why you have one type of medicine. Like, for instance, everybody thinks Tylenol is the name of the medicine. No, ma'am. Tylenol is just a name like Levi's or Nike or Adidas. That's all Tylenol is. The actual medicine is acetaminophen. Tylenol is a brand name. And it's the same way kind of for prescription medicines, you know. It is a business. It is about, yes. And without our government doing its proper checks and balances of that business, imagine during the height of Viagra sales, the sales across our nation of Viagra were dwarfed compared to the sales across our nation of opiates. Let that marinate for a minute. I know Rhonda saw that. Exactly. But think about, it's funny to do that. But Viagra sales skyrocketed. Right. Keith, it's not about what Tylenol's used for. I was just making an example because you can go to Dollar General and right beside Tylenol you see acetaminophen. It's the same thing. You go and you're sitting there and you go to buy a Pepsi Cola and beside of it you got Walmart's brand. It's the same thing. That's Walmart's brand is the generic of that prescription. It's the same thing. We have it all across, but you don't see a specific point in time that they say nobody else can make Pepsi. Yeah. Absolutely it does, Mama T. Absolutely. My son has been told that in his treatment, actually. Does anybody, let's see, I've got one other article. Oh, they're getting ready to go to church. I'm not going. I want to tell little man goodbye though before he leaves. So I'm going to say goodbye. For now, I may see y'all later again this evening. Again, anybody would like to help support the channel, it's greatly appreciated but not required. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo is available. There are plenty of free ways to support the channel. Anybody that would like to know of them that doesn't know, please send me an email. I'll give you a list of ways that you can help support our channel for free. All that Pepsi Blue was nasty. They got Pepsi Nitro now. Ugh. I will, Miss Melissa, I promise. I am going to take me a nap first because I am wore out. Absolutely, Mama T. I absolutely will. I'll send it to you in a text. I know Dr. Bergenette. I like that channel on YouTube. I'm subbed. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate that. I will, Miss Blue. Please do, Blue. I do too, Doctor. I do too, Dr. Berg. I do too, Mama T. I think it's important to be open and willing to listen and learn. That's right, Rhonda. We're going to end this for saying justice for Summer Moon Utah Wells. And thank you, Summer, for shining a light on and preventing even one child being hurt. I've been trying to get my son to tune into him. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. That's right, Summer. You rock. You did that. And you're going to say many more because we're going to make sure that they hear it when we say your name. Peace, love, and light. And hopefully I'll see y'all tonight.